Like to call to order the Peabody Planning Board meeting, agenda for Thursday, June 20th, 2024, 7 p.m. Peabody City Hall, lower level conference room, 24 Lowell Street, Peabody, Massachusetts. This is being broadcast on channel
99
public access TV. At this time, I'd like to suspend the planning board meeting and public hearing, continuing from June 6th of 2024.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, after the meeting on June 6th, we received a late ad correspondence after the packets had gone out for this meeting from Attorney Kelty proposing changes. There has been copies of this late ad added to your packets here this evening. If you would wish to vote to accept this into the record and review it. There is 3 items on this that Attorney Kelty is looking to amend to the previous request that he provided in regards to this.
Mr. Chairman, in the matter of the zoning change before us, move to receive a late communication from Attorney John Kelty dated June 13th, 2024, and it's 3 bullet points that you have to receive.
Second.
You finished, John?
And
You have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
Yes. So what I've done is with that instrument that you just, well, first and foremost, John Kelty, 40 Lowell Street, Peabody, Mass, hearing for the petitioner. Petitioner is the owner of a 9,100 square foot parcel of land located on Linfield Street in Peabody. I had, at the outset, we had provided you with language that would allow housing in the GB district, which currently does not allow housing. I provided a chart which likened it to the use on BR and regional business and BR1, BR2, and regional business. And that chart was in the event that you wanted to do housing on Route 1 or 114, you would need to apply for a special permit, and then there was a chart that spoke to the issue of density. That chart that I had adapted a little bit and utilized for this area of general business. When I heard the comments from this board, and I heard the concern of that this board had about density in other areas of the city, and we had a number of discussions about where else we are zone GB. And it turns out that there's a little bit of land on Tremont Street that is adjacent to the wholesale supply of the former A.C. Lawrence Leathers. Bob Janisco has been developing that. That is GB. And the bleachery across from Champions in the back there behind Diorsi's, that's GB. I had thought that perhaps the Rousselot property was. That is not. The only other, they are an industrial zone. So what I've done with this is gotten rid of the chart, said that you need to live with the dimensional requirements essentially that already apply to GB. And it would seem that units would be actually dictated by parking availability. So I asked the board to strike the chart and graph entirely, strike the language that is in 3212 general business. It's the language is residential uses are not allowed if we were to strike that. And then similar language where it is in the table, we would add multifamily would be added to the table. And then Kurt and I had had a discussion about if if you had a 20,000 square foot parcel, which we don't think there is one in the city of Peabody, but if you had one, then you would need to go to the Board of Appeals for relief there or whatever density we're going to try to accomplish. So I've tried to streamline it, make it easier, make it more straightforward, and make less of a mess of zoning ordinance.
Any questions from the board? Yes.
through the chair to Attorney Calvin. So those parcels you spoke about, the one off of Webster Street with
Yep.
with the building supplies outlet predominantly, the largest one there. And where the 47 Tremont stuff
There are
is
three
still
lots.
going on. And then referred to the bleachery, all of those are over 20,000. I think
Don't think that Tremont Street is over 20,000 because it's been subdivided into
But
smaller
that, but
lots.
that
The
includes,
original lot was well over 20.
yeah, but that includes the building supplies outlet, right?
Oh, yes. yeah.
That's what I'm
East
talking
one, Yes.
Right, so I think you said that there isn't a 20,000 in the city
I
of Peabody.
misspoke.
You're saying, I think what you're saying is that they're the ones that are of significance in 2 or 3 places around the city are larger than 20,000. Those that have to go to TBA for relief.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, just to clarify.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
I don't think Bleachery's got a 20,000.
And 20,000 is not,
No, that's not that big.
it's not so big, it's 100 by 200, right? So,
There's quite a few GB parcels that are over 20,000 square feet.
right,
Yeah.
but the way he stated.
Yeah,
that,
the way
he
I
stated
stated it was, I was
Okay.
told mine that there aren't any, but
Right,
there are. You folks are right, and it would, this amendment would provide that you go to the ZBA for that.
so do we have an indication from Kurt or anything? Is he?
Well, this is a change
is
that
he
we-
neutral on this? Or-
Well, this is a change that Jack had worked with Community Development Department on, and this is what we recommended to him is that
Okay,
strike the dimensional controls on it as to add, as Jack mentioned, more confusion to the zoning ordinance language and to move forward with a more streamlined version like this.
okay, and then it leaves here with a recommendation? Or,
To go to the city.
then
council.
you go to city council?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
right, thank you.
We
They're-
provide a
they're
recommendation.
27, I think.
Sounds correct. The board would hear a vote tonight on a letter for myself or Michelle to draft on behalf of the planning board to be sent to the city council for their vote to determine what they recommend, what they should vote. I would recommend that if the board votes in favor, they reference that they vote in favor of the changes as submitted in this letter dated June 13th, 2024 from Attorney Kelty.
And the city council was copied on that.
Any other questions from the board? This time I'll accept the recommendation.
There's 2 people on Zoom, if you want to look for
Yeah.
public comment. If any of the people on Zoom would wish to speak on this, please use the raise your hand function. Seeing none.
Hearing none. I'll accept.
Quick question, just before we go to Ken, or through the chair to Attorney Kelty. For the plans that were discussed 2 weeks ago, the plans at the Linfield Street location, would those be conforming to the new requirements? If these changes are ultimately adopted, the plans for the Linfield Street location, would they be conforming to those requirements if they're
Yes.
implemented?
Yes.
Again, do I have a recommendation from the board?
Well, I'm actually on the fence with this myself, but I will move forward to the council. They will be the deciders and there is a special permit involved. At this time, I would move the board recommend the city council adopt the zoning changes for the ZB zoning districts in Peabody. Will include the memo that Attorney Kelty has provided us dated June 13th, 2024, regarding the changes to the zoning.
I think you said ZB instead of G.
No, I meant to say GB zoning district.
Okay.
Have a second? We have a second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Mr. Joseph Gagnon,
Yes.
Mr. John Ford,
Yes.
Attorney Peter Abernathy's,
Present.
Dr. Judith Otto,
yes,
Mr. Roy Simos.
Yes.
Mr. John Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Tom French,
No.
Mr. Thomas Bettencourt.
Yes. Okay, at this time, close the public hearing and return to the planning board meeting. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. They will be supplied for the next meeting. They were not finished in time. Section B, A and R and Land Court. We have 467 Wall Street, parcel 28 and 084A, applicant, Michael Martinez, represented by Attorney Kelton.
Where are we on the twin?
Wall Street.
467.
Supposed to be Martinez. That's an A and R application, in which, we have, family owning both the front and the rear lot. And they're creating a small parcel of land that's, shown on the plan. It's 1,163 square feet. That'll be cut off of, A1 and added to, wait a minute.
Backwards.
B1 is to be combined with A1. So B1 is being cut from this parcel. No, B1 is to be combined,
That's coming off of this, but going to.
going to that. That's correct. And that's what the note says.
So B1 is being combined with B2
B1 is being combined with A1.
or A1. Sorry, yes, A1.
So it's the back part of the parent's house that's being given to the son.
So you're taking the line that right now is the dark line and you're moving it to the slanted line.
The new lot line will be the 102.57.
Okay.
It's kind of crooked.
Yeah, there it is.
Looks like it lines up with the same angle as the shed. I believe, you see the two little tens?
Yeah.
10 and 10. So it's got 10 foot of setback.
Any other questions from the board?
Both.
There a reason for this? Attorney Kelty?
I don't know, actually, this was a client of, Barrett, Brian Barrett, not Brian Barrett, but, Todd Buckley. And, Todd felt conflicted and asked me to do it, so I don't know the particulars with respect to why they're doing this.
That both, lots will have adequate frontage and area.
I have a question to the chair. Is the distance between the shed and the lot line side yard setback or what is it?
I believe that's a side yard setback because it's a corner lot and there's no real. rear lot.
It's 10 feet of adequate side yard?
Yes, side, not rear, but because it's a corner lot. They don't have a rear.
And both lots will meet.
Dimensional and
I guess it doesn't matter about size because this isn't about zoning. They'll both have frontage. Yep, on Norwich.
Okay, at this time, I'll accept the motion.
Chairman, removing approval of an A and R plan of land in Peabody, Mass, located at 467 Lowell Street, Peabody. Plan is prepared by Eastern Land Survey. Prepared for Michael Martinez. Date on the plan is May 6, 2024. There is further document number on the plan F10097. Lot B1 shall be combined with adjacent lot of Martinez, lot A1, to form a contiguous lot.
Have a second? All those in favor? Unanimous. You have the paper copy, please, for the signature?
Does this just need one signature?
Yes.
Sure.
Next item on the agenda is, 0 Blaney Avenue, parcel ID 094 and 090. Also represented by Mr. Pell.
John Kelty, or are we ready?
Mhm.
John Kelty, 40 Lowell Street, Peabody, Mass. This is yet again, I believe this is number 3 iteration of the lots on Blaney Ave. I believe what's going on is that the prospective George Nick Zalotis in this instance, Nick Zalotis had customers that are seeking certain size and shape homes, and as such, Mello has adjusted the lot lines to accommodate that need so that there be side yard setback. And each of the lots on this plan have area and frontage on public way being Blaney Avenue.
Any questions from the board?
No.
Attorney Kelly, what question? Jack, is this something you mentioned that had a variance granted, but there's an appeal period waiting?
No, it's
Now, is the plan that we're looking at here that's submitted, is this the plan that's being voted on?
Appears to be.
well, no.
No?
We,
No, this,
That's the one.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
explain
that's
that
the
there's a change in
Yes.
forms
Yeah.
of the plan that's presented here tonight.
It's in the math on the line between, I think it's A and B. I could figure it out if you wish.
I think you need to just explain why it's de minimis as to what the change is compared to what's being signed compared to what was submitted.
In terms of what I initially filed and now the new Mylar?
Yes.
all,
Okay,
all the numbers on that plan, Drew, all the square footages on that plan are identical to the ones that sit in front of us right now. The
But
one
I
you got
think
up there.
it's-
I understand that, but
it's
for
the
the public,
mathematical calculation.
for the record, it needs to be stated why the plan that's being signed right now is not the same plan that was originally
Okay.
submitted.
This is the one I took back. And
I think she'll fuck all the same.
oh, up there. And then this one,
Okay.
it's 53 and 97, yeah. Apparently, there's got to be some kind of a change in it, yes. See, he's added direction here. Changed, left that one, added one here. He's called out 2 distances. 5332 and 9709 rather than 15043. I think the math is that they add up, but there is a slight.
So we changed an angle in there.
Right, and this one is right, for 6.
This,
This is correct.
Yes,
So the change is that
is that line that is, the Rear line to lot C is now broken into two distances, 5332 and 9709, rather than 150.
See the 150 there?
Yeah, and so
So now it's two now.
Yeah, because
And the other-
there's a slight angle change in the middle, that's why.
okay,
Very de minimis.
A question.
it needs to be saved. So okay. So there's now a site.
These panhandles.
Yeah, probably right where that crease is.
Yeah, yeah.
I always have the plan. So, looking at that,
No, I'm done.
Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move approval of an A and R plan of land in Peabody, Mass. Prepared by Eastern Land Survey, prepared for Nicholas M. Zelotis. The date on the plan is June 4th, 2024. Document number on the plan is F15026. Some area in frontage on a public way.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Joseph Gagnon,
Yes.
John Ford,
Yes.
Attorney Peter Benedis,
Yes.
Dr. Judith Otto,
Yes.
Simos,
Yeah,
John Walsh,
Yes.
Mr. Tom French.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas Bettencourt.
Yes. Already? Next item on the agenda is 0 Newberry Street, map 57, lot 74T.
Mr. Chairman, I just moved to receive a late communication from Robert Langley, Director of Engineering, dated May 17th, with regards to 0 Newbury Street.
Guys got,
And then yes, and then, in light of the fact that, we don't have a closeout letter, I've asked for a further continuance to July 18th.
Did you get a vote on receiving this late communication?
that came in the packet.
Oh, it was late.
Oh, that was the latest. I printed it, so I had it in my packet.
Want to go, eh? Procedural.
Received the letter first.
I did.
Oh, we did. Do you have a second on that?
Second, yeah.
And it was unanimous, right?
Mr. Chairman, further in the matter of 0 Newbury Street, move to receive a communication from Attorney John Kelty dated June 20th, requesting an extension of time until July 18th, 2024. Move to receive and grant said extension.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, next item on the agenda is 15 Newberry Street, map 88, lot 6.
Mr. Chairman, in the matter of this, I actually met with the applicants and Robert Langley. I believe it was last week, and we discussed this project. They received comments back from the Department of Transportation in regards to this project. They are taking those comments not into consideration. They're taking those comments and adding them into the plan. The largest one being that there was 3 curb cuts that were shown on the project. MassDOT was also not in favor of those 2 curb cuts directly next to each other. So they're getting rid of one of those to have it be a one-way in, one-way, have a 1 in, 1 out, and 1 curb cut now instead. And they were also running a couple more numbers and getting that information over to peer review. I would have to believe that we'll have all the final documents wrapped up by our July 18th. I think the next date is by our July meeting, and that they should have everything done. But after that meeting and after your packets had gone out, they did submit a letter as a late ad, just requesting a continuance till that meeting. Let me just get the exact date that they
The 18th.
did they request to the 18th. I believe they did. It's in your digital packets as well. But They requested the 18th.
Mr. Chairman, in the matter of 15 Newbury Street, I would grant the petitioner an extension of time until July 18th, 2024.
Do you have a second? Second,
Yes.
all those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Appointments, 18 Carroll Road, documentation received June 6th for Attorney Pelkey.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, before Attorney Kelty begins, he'll probably explain the whole situation as well, but this is a item that some of you that were on the planning board back in 2008 might remember as part of the Winona Woods subdivision that was approved back, I believe, in 2008. There was a lot that was approved as part of this subdivision plan off of Corral Road, which is now known as 18 Corral Road. As we know, the Winona subdivision was not built, but this lot did get created as part of the subdivision, and in the covenant, this lot was released, and so the owner of the lot was sold off, and the owner built a foundation on the lot back, I believe, in 2010, but Attorney Kelty can get these dates correct for me. That applicant is now in front of the Conservation Commission seeking to build this house on this lot that was created as part of the subdivision. As part of his request in front of the Conservation Commission, there is a paper road that exists right now at the end of Corral Road that he will use to access his property. Now, he has been working with the Conservation Commission on what exactly needs to be created there. And I have the plan, I'll put it up in a second, but the city just wanted to make sure that, because this was approved as part of a subdivision, and he will be creating technically part of a roadway now to enter his house. We just wanted to make sure that the planning board was aware and be able to provide a recommendation to the Conservation Commission. And the planning board has the ability to recommend, I'll show you in a second as I pull this plan up and just speaking about it, but I believe he's showing currently, let me just share this for everyone and I can show you. One second, gotta find where my mouse is. There it is. Hey. So Attorney Kelty can go through this, but I just wanted to give a background. The basis of this meeting tonight and the correspondence by Attorney Kelty is that he's seeking a recommendation for the planning board, and the planning department is seeking that the planning board just review what's being proposed here, and that they are comfortable with what is being constructed, and then provide that recommendation to the Conservation Commission, who will have the ultimate authority on what gets built out there. I think I did a pretty roundabout way of explaining it. Attorney Kelty will be able to help fill in any blanks, but the actual letter itself is in your packets, and it's on the digital packet as well, if you'd like to follow on. But I'm going to keep the plan up here because I think it will probably be easiest to explain.
Can you expand that even more?
I can. It's a little, because it's been scanned in, it's a little choppy to see, but
And where's the lot in the paper road?
so right now Corral Road ends right about here. The lot itself is this area,
Corral Road, ends there.
and
the
then
Lot line is right there.
Winona Woods, which has now been spot out, this lot area by Trammell Crow, which is where the comprehensive permit is currently under construction, is this area right here. And as part of that, there was this back lot that was in the original subdivision was created. And then if you go back and look at the 2008, the planning board voted that it would be released from all of the, butcher the word here, I can't think of it, but the regulations in the covenant by releasing this lot. The owner then went and built a foundation on it. And now I believe he needs to get Conservation Commission approval. And that is why Attorney Kelty is here this evening seeking recommendation pretty much for the planning board to say, yep, this looks like a good compromise of a roadway / driveway, or nope, we want to see you build a whole roadway to get to your property.
So that's exactly the issue. The area from the end of the pavement to our lot line would continue to be public. And so I've asked that our engineer provide a detail of that section, which is 50-foot layout, pavement, sidewalk, et cetera, or area for a sidewalk, et cetera. And I would ask that the planning board make a recommendation to the Conservation Commission as to their satisfaction with the build out of the public portion. And then in order to, we're gonna make the remaining section of land from that point in, that'll become private way, we'll plow it, we'll maintain it. That'll all be in the order of conditions. And if we were to accept a recommendation from this board, then this board should suggest that that would remain private and no maintenance burden on the city. I think we are gonna have another meeting with the ward councilor and ward councilor Lucia, Bob Langley, the July 3rd. At that meeting, we will discuss the further maintenance of the private section. But while we can handle all of our runoff on our lot, and we will handle it privately, there is an issue of a lack of drainage on Corral Road. I do believe that my conversations with Councilor Higgins have suggested that he's engaged in what needs to be cleaned. If the board, if it's a result of our meeting with Public Services, Mr. Langley, Mr. Politz, and Lucia, and I think Drew will probably sit in that as well. If the recommendation is that there needs to be added stormwater to Corral Road, that remains to be seen what's going to happen to the water on Corral Road. But as to the runoff that we're creating by building this portion of driveway with our dwelling, we will handle all that by ourselves. I think the problem is that it's 300 feet to the next 400 plus feet to the next catch basin. So
That way.
that one, yeah. So it's not a simple matter of, gee, we'll tie into the existing and make sure it's all clean. It's not connected. But that has to do with the construction of Corral Road and Pierce. When here's McCarthy lived. Rudolph, no. Franklin Pierce Drive, is that right there? Yeah.
Attorney Kelty, if you can, I know that this has been kind of the neighborhood has been very interested in this and has provided one
Gentleman
comment.
was here tonight, and I told him that the other ones had been continued and that these upcoming meetings were going to occur.
Yeah. Nope, and I was just saying, I know there's been an issue that's been brought to the attention of the Conservation Commission, as regards to snow being plowed at the end of this roadway, and to make sure that that can still take place. Now, is that going to be able to happen?
Yeah, that'll be able to happen. There were other folks that wanted the snow removal area taken off the plan. But yes, there's plenty of upland area where we can store our snow here and not be infiltrating the wetland,
And-
putting in.
I should just also add that this area is connected to this lot, but this area right here, per the covenant and per the subdivision that was agreed upon, this will need to be deeded as a conservation restriction.
That's correct.
So the gist of the conversation here tonight is that the planning board, if they so choose, can provide a letter of recommendation stating that they're in favor of the plan provided, or that they wish to see changes made to it, or that they're not in favor of this, or anywhere in between. This is not a planning board matter in that we are the end all be on this, as they do need conservation, but they are looking to us to, as we kind of deal with roadways and things of that nature,
Sure.
for our thoughts and recommendations on this.
Mr. Garrigan.
So could you just circle the lot again?
Yeah, I can annotate it. It
Well,
is,
is all the way out to here,
it's in between.
and then somewhere down here. That's my lot.
Okay, because my question is,
It's good. I can't. Hold on, let me. Zoom has the capability. Usually does. There we go. Good. Find where it was. So the lot line is up here. It's gonna be pretty. And it goes all the way down to here. It's kind of out of view.
Mhm. Okay.
It's not letting
Comes
me
to
do
a
it.
corner.
Come to the corner there, and then it comes back up here, falls along here, and comes back to here. This area is on this side
Mhm.
is wetlands area as
Mhm.
dictated by this line, I believe, right here. And this is going to receive a conservation restriction.
Okay, so here's my question. I understand how you're gonna extend Corral Road, the public portion to the lot line.
Yeah.
Right? I don't understand why you're putting a private way on one lot. It doesn't make sense. Why not just call it a driveway? Because that kind of raises a red flag with me. If it's a private way, are you gonna come back and subdivide that land somehow? Or I don't understand why you're putting a private way. That should be a driveway.
I think it's tantamount to a private, because it's only 14 feet wide.
Yeah, so why is it private way? That raised the red flag. A private way on one lot. I can understand if you have two butters, one on the left side and the right side, and you have a private way. You do not need a private way on one lot. And that raises a concern with me.
To your point, and I can tell you that the Conservation Commission actually, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, was preferring it to be
Now,
a narrower because it will take you away from the wetland that exists here. So you can't build on
Unless-
this whole, yep, and less runoff. So you can't build on this whole area. So there's a
no, but I
paper.
think Joe's.
Just call it, just do a narrow
Why,
driveway.
why call it a private way versus?
Right.
driveway?
Private way means there's more than one abutter that's gonna eventually is or will eventually be involved. In a private way, if you have two abutters, the abutters own to the center line of, so if you have a 40 foot wide, the center line, one
Yeah.
abutter owns 20
We
feet, the
don't
other.
mind,
That should not be
referring
there.
it to it as a driveway, because it's not gonna serve anybody else.
Unless I'm missing something.
I don't know that end of a street can be used as an entrance to a lot, and that's probably why that's being done. If something like that
You
happened.
can't have frontage on the butt end. So
Right,
yeah, so
Yeah,
this
they have
square,
no frontage, Joe.
this
That
square,
makes sense.
this square,
That's 100, I suspect
Yeah.
that's 100 foot of frontage right there, Jack. That goes in 100 feet
Okay.
yes.
to create frontage.
That answers my question.
That's the answer.
Yeah,
Right,
And
yeah, okay.
because that, something like that happened on Grandview
That makes sense.
about 20 years ago. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
It just didn't make sense the way, just read that. But yeah, on a butt end, you can't have a driveway.
And just to your point, the buildable area on this lot is 24,000 square feet. So it's a 20,000 square foot minimum in the R1, so you can't subdivide that out further.
Okay,
If I may briefly, this lot stands on its own,
Yes,
and it was removed from the other subdivision, was cut out
yes.
some years back.
So if let me share my other screen for a second here for everybody, but this is just a GIS view currently of what exists out there, just so maybe.
Because this is an old drawing, it doesn't show the foundation, right?
No, I think he took the foundation only, it's not old.
You can see it on
Brand
Google
new.
Maps.
Right.
But I
It's
think
not-
he
it's
didn't
not
put it on
drawn
there
on
because
there.
that's. the
Sorry, let me
details.
just, yeah, you,
I remember
Yeah.
going down there 10 or 15 years ago and seeing that foundation.
Yeah.
it is, the foundation exists today. So I've highlighted the area roughly where it is, but this is the Tramwell Crow development that's taking place. This is the Corral Road lot that we are discussing tonight, 18.
Okay,
And then
that makes sense.
And that shows you the end of the table. So
And so you can see today there's a you can see the foundation exists.
So if the board is of a mind to make a recommendation, I think that public section that comes to our lot line ought to be built to the rules and regulations of the plan.
Agreed. And that'll be picked up by the owner?
Yeah.
Not the city?
Yeah.
And if there's a sidewalk only on one side, we'll
Both
extend the
sides.
sidewalk.
Both sides.
Well, are they there though?
We will be required to match what's there. So,
Okay, if
Yeah.
it's only on one side, then you'll extend one side. If it's on both, you'll extend both.
It is up to the board to make a recommendation, however they may choose, to the Conservation Commission.
Whatever recommendation from the board.
Right.
And the issue with the Concom is the wetlands on the lot.
So the wetlands exist today, in this area right here. And so this is area, I believe it's kind of cut off right here. This whole area is actually, if I switch back to the other theme, you'll see it's shown it as conservation restricted. I don't know if it's actually been, but it will be. Restricted conservation easement. So this is the conservation area.
So
And then if you look at wetlands,
why do we have to, with the Concom, or they know their game?
this is because it's in regards to the roadway. This is based upon the plan. So the Concom is reviewing the lot, the construction that's taking place, as well as the construction that needs to take place out there. They are coming before us because they've been requested, right? I believe engineering has requested you to build a roadway, because right now the roadway here
Correct.
stops, it's dirt. And then it comes to their access, their driveway is going to start right about here. The reason they're coming to us is because the planning board oversees subdivisions, oversees people that need to create roadways. They're coming to us just for a recommendation on that this roadway meets what the planning board would like to see out there. That this meets,
Pavement, depth, pavement, all of
you know, that it meets what would be, rather than having to file a whole subdivision rules and regulations filing on this, they're coming for us for a recommendation, because technically this was already approved. This is just a recommendation to the Conservation Commission.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that the
Oh,
board.
sorry, Dr. Otto has just raised her hand.
Thank you. I think from a physical layout point of view, I don't have any problem with it. But the question I want to raise is we're basically allowing the owner of the lot to build a driveway on what is a public right of way, correct?
I didn't hear.
She was saying this is allowing the owner to build a private driveway on a public way. So
That's correct. No, Dr. Otto, the aspect of this,
Sorry, Dr. Otto's not going to be able to see. Actually, Dr. Otto, can you see what Jack is pointing out on the screen?
No,
can see the-
sorry.
Oh, can you see? All right.
so we're gonna pick up and build as a public way to the requirements of the planning board, about 40 odd feet, possibly 50 feet of roadway to our lot line, after which it would become the narrower driveway. And this section, I think that what the doctor is pointing to is saying your reference earlier to paper street.
Yeah.
That really doesn't exist in as much as this subdivision is gone and that has never been built. So we're now here this evening and before the Conservation Commission as to what should be built. And we're saying we'll build it to our lot line, to planning board spec, and then the remainder, but there's never been a grant or a gift or a deed or acceptance of any way. So we're not really on a paper street.
Part of this reason also, Dr. Otto, that it narrows down is that the Conservation Commission was nervous with the wetland being so close, that with the runoff of a roadway being built on that paper roadway.
Yes, I understand that completely. And as I said, I don't have any problem with the physical layout from what I can see in the drawing, but I'm concerned about a private homeowner's driveway that is occupying as I can also see in the assessor's map, which I have in a different tab, which looks to be part of the street, even if it was never built out as such.
But then there was never a grant. I mean, the city has no interest in that. The city's publicness and, the city's, interest ends at our property line.
If you look at this assessor's map,
That rectangle was never built, never granted, never
you
deeded.
see that all those lots on Race Drive, right? See how all those lots are all cut up where
Yeah.
Trammell Crow's being built? It appears to me that when the engineer, whoever did that drawing, cut up all those lots and drew in the proposed public street, he also extended Corral
That's correct, to give it frontage.
to give it frontage.
Yep.
Right. So that never got done. That
That's correct.
Never got granted to the city. It's not a public way. It's still part of this applicant's private property.
That's true.
Okay.
All right, that makes sense.
And just one more comment. So making that public street extension, that doesn't adversely affect or have any legal bearing to any other subdivision out there
No.
or anything like that. It's for sure.
Correct.
Because at one time it was connected, but it isn't. I know it's dissolved and it's changed
It
about
was never
50
connected
times.
physically, it was just on the same plan.
Okay, so it's not gonna come back to haunt us.
Do any of the third parties have rights in the extended Carroll Road?
No.
That's exactly.
So when the extension was created as a part of the subdivision, it was approved. And
That's correct.
Once the subdivision is recorded, Corral Road for what it exists, is that correct? Whether it's constructed or deeded, it exists.
Yeah, so
And it does,
does that rectangle exist on a plan at the registry of deeds? Yes.
yes,
Yes.
and I have some research, but I've had the issue before. It automatically creates rights in abutting parcels when you do that. It gives the right, any parcel that abut that way that's been created, the right to travel the entire extent of the way to get to their property, I think. And it's not a concern to me so much as it might be a concern.
There's no,
Yeah,
there's no.
And to Judy's point, you can construct a driveway over a public way as long as it doesn't interfere with the right of the public to traverse the way. So the construction of the roadway itself doesn't take away any rights that may exist in the public to continue.
That would be
to
true.
use them.
True, could you put that plan back up, please?
You want the plan that was provided? So this part today is dirt, correct? Attorney
Yes.
Kelty?
Yes.
And this house that exists right here, their driveway is just about right here, I believe.
So you come
No, I
close to
think
the end of the
he's-
pavement.
Does he look like he's on the other side? Oh, yeah, he's on this side.
You're
So
extending the roadway, as you said, about 40 feet.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna transition down narrow. It looks like you're providing trees. Is that what that is showing right here?
No, those are test holes.
Tesla, okay. These large ones are?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the, okay. And then you're providing a sidewalk, or this is the curb,
Sure.
so you're continuing the curb, there's no curb on this side,
No,
and then this is stone to, I guess, control runoff coming down this way?
yes,
It's not a paved driveway?
it is.
Oh, it is.
As it exists
Oh,
today, it's
oh,
stone.
oh,
That's like
stone
our-
apron.
Stone on the,
I see.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a stone apron.
And your client will be responsible for maintaining this area?
Yes.
Well, in theory, it's, the private way is a driveway, but we're calling it a private way because you can't have a driveway at a butt end, it's just.
And this will be 50 feet wide? This.
Yes. Layout wise, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from the board?
Do we need to ask for a bond? Like $50,000 bond or something to make sure it gets built?
believe it'd come down to with the building department, that they'd get a building permit based upon this plan, and if they don't build that, then the
Okay.
building department.
Well,
will
why
have
don't we
to-
make a note in our approval that if the public way does not get extended as per this drawing, 50 feet sidewalk on one side, that he cannot issue,
How about,
the building inspector not issue an occupancy permit.
And it's also
Build
that
it all you want, you can't sell it.
it's also if he does not, if, so again, the Concom is gonna be the ones to approve this, and the plan that they approve is recorded with the Registry of Deeds. So if they don't build what they approve, they have to, as part of, not to get into the weeds here, but Conservation Commission, you have to come back and show as-built to show that you built exactly what you said you were gonna build with them, and so
But-
he'd have to come back to Concom.
Concom's not really concerned about the public way,
Concom is definitely concerned about this whole area. That's actually been one of the biggest
Right.
cruxes of the whole issue.
Right,
So
but
they
that's
want to
not
make
the
sure.
Public way, that the street, the 50-foot street, they're more concerned with the narrowness of the driveway.
But they're concerned because of the wetlands. So
Right, of
he,
course.
that's why if he's showing he's building this roadway like that and Concom approves this plan, he needs to build the roadway exactly like that, or he's not gonna
That's
get
true.
final write-off
That'll be in my order.
in his order of conditions, yep.
So, Dr. Otto,
I'm sorry, say again.
I think we just heard some background noise, sorry. We thought you
Okay,
raised
oh,
your
I'm
hand.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
People in my household are yelling at me.
so are we recommending to the Concom to favorably look at this?
I think the idea here would be that the planning board, say whatever you want, but my recommendation that the planning board would vote to recommend approval of the work as, or the plan as depicted in the plan provided by, in the plan dated, proposed, proposed, something along the lines of the planning board has reviewed and is in favor of the proposed planned roadway for 18 Corral Road,
The extension of Corel Road.
for the extension of Corral Road.
you wanna make that motion?
Mr. Chairman, in the matter of 18 Corral Road, would move that the board communicate with Concom that we are not opposed to this. The petitioner shall complete an extension of Corral Road to today's standards, a modern road, to the property line. The roadway / driveway on the interior can be a, what we would consider a substandard road, but it will be serving only one house.
Public way.
It's a private way. Further conservation should consider conservation easements to be placed on the wetlands area within the boundaries of this lot.
Mr. Chairman, there's a member of the public that has raised their hand to speak on Zoom.
And all that, because I can't repeat it.
I voted out.
So just before the motion, there's a member of the public. Hi, Stan, can you hear us? You should.
Yep, I can hear you. So first of all, Stan Griglich, Huntington Wood, Deerfield Circle. I've been involved with this since the beginning, and this road extension in this map, you need to show the boundaries of the Pierce, the 3 Pierce 15 Corral roadside on the odd side and the 16 Corral opposite, because I believe they're at the base of this road right here. And this line, this is what's confusing in the map. And when you show the other maps, because this boundary really should be over here. Or if it's really here, and this is the public, you got to show the line of 15 Corral and 16 opposite, because they end at the base of this road. The pavement ends there. And this is steep. The important thing that I'm raising with Conservation Commission is the depth of this road. The BFE is about 146, 47, and down here it's 140. It's about 5-6 feet in height. There is, and so you'd have to show where Pierce is relative to this too. because there's a severe drainage problem going down this way. There is the closest, they even say it in the map, and I've checked this. The closest catch basin is on the even side of the road, 500 feet down the road. To me, this was an omission originally by engineering DPS when this road was built. Because, here's the reason I'll state that, because on Pierce Road, if you could show Pierce Road, which is right around the corner of 15 over here, would be here. On the opposite end at Forenza, there is a catch basin there, and there's a second catch basin not more than 30 feet away on the corner of Hamerick, a double one, and there's another single one right here on Forenza around the corner of Pierce. Pierce Road, if you observed it today, there is severe erosion from the water that drains. That's today, while there's earth ground here, absorbing a lot of the rain and stormwater hydrology. So that's an issue that we're concerned with as the residents and abutters, that there needs to actually be some catch basins up here. At least one, and extend it to the other one. I know a single homeowner shouldn't be responsible for that. Up here, technically I felt there should be one up here. This stone drip edge, Bill, I submitted a whole detailed information why I feel this is not going to work. And if this turns into just a driveway, because before in the first plan, this whole road was the full length of the 50 feet. And the drip edge was closer to the end here. The drip edge is not going to work. It's a catch and hold. I believe the conservation's not, in my opinion, shouldn't approve it, because they're going to have a lot of issue with plowing. And that's my other question. Where does the city start plowing? Here, or way back here?
Mr. Griglet, just to let you know, we can't see what you're pointing at.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's too bad. So, how do I explain it? The base of the road where the pavement ends is the low end. Then it goes up about 6 to 7 feet before based on this map's line, of where the property line is for 18 Corral Road. That's about 146 BFE level. So that's a big drop with nothing else to stop the storm water drainage. If you have half inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch rain per hour, it's brutal. The residents there are suffering with that now. I was at the meeting with Mike Higgins a couple of weekends ago, and with all the residents, we looked at it, and I think he's got some pictures too. I have a lot of pictures from before, but I'm bringing up that this stone drip edge that they want to put in was extended in the original plan all the way down to the base. But it's confusing if it's showing it differently, but you really need in this map to see where the property line is of 15 and 16, which is at the base today, physically. This map doesn't show it that way. So that's one issue. I'd like to know where the city stops plowing. If they plow all the way to the end of this driveway, that's getting closer to Huntington that we're concerned from a conservation issue, because where you show the current wetlands it's on the right on the odd side, just a little past that touches our Woodbridge Road, and we have a vernal pond and a creek behind two of the buildings as it turns and faces 18 Corral Road on Woodbridge Road. So we feel that for the Conservation Commission to consider a catch and hold with snow and chemicals and oils from the road and whatnot, and they want to put a bituminous berm, I don't think that's going to work, because plows scrape those up. I'll add what I'm going to say at the Conservation Commission again, because I've submitted this on paper to them. The stone drip edge is gonna absorb over time silt, rainwater, leaves are gonna cover it. It's gonna cause a lot of frosting in the winter when it rains and then it settles. We're gonna have frost heaves, it's gonna be lifting those stones up. And if a plow driver, I don't care if it's private or a city plow driver, they're not gonna see this stone drippage with snow coverage. They're gonna be ripping that thing up as they come up the hill, because it's an upward grade. The blades are gonna be charging into the hill, going up. This is why I'm concerned about the city plowing. Where do they stop? Because right now they stop before that at the base. They're gonna hit that area and they're gonna be tearing that stone drip edge up as well. It's just not, to me, is not a good long-term solution for stormwater drainage for that street, because it's elevated. And I think that's most of the points. I wish I could be pointing these things out, because I'm doing it on my copy of the map that I'm looking at. But on the screen, I thought you were seeing the same thing. The other thing is, just one more thing. I'm disappointed because I showed up at the meeting and I could have said a lot and shown a lot. But I was under the impression that this was going to be continued because it was an appointment letter of some kind. So, Mr. Kelty, I'm disappointed that I had to speak up tonight.
Guys, for that. I didn't even bring this file with me. So I gave you wrong advice on this one.
Just as a point, thank you, Mr. Griglich, for your comments, but just as a point, the planning board is just providing a letter of recommendation, Mr. Griglich. The Conservation Commission is gonna have the final say on this.
I understand that. I'm just saying that I think you should be aware that I think there's some discrepancies in the scale of the mapping that shows this, and while you're making your recommendation, I think you have to look at that map. That's why I bring up the 15 and 16 Corral Road exact positions. Because when you showed the other map, it shows like a continuation of that public space as whole, but that's not physically where the lines end. If you had the property lines of 15 Corral / 3 Pierce Road corner and 16 Corral.
They are shown. Unless I'm wrong, but
Yep.
This is the lot line for 3 Pierce Road, which you're referring to as 15. And then this is the lot line for 16 Corral Road.
So that extension, if it's the dirt part, is after the pavement and property line of those two properties.
Not according to our assessor's map. According to our assessor's map, the pavement ends, then there's still a amount of both lots that are dirt. There's no pavement. And then it begins our road, or this lot. So this lot lines, according to our assessor's map, looks to be correct. That they are both, yep, this would be the 3 Pierce Road lot line, and then this is the 16.
So the section that you're showing as the public road is 100% paved, correct?
Nope, nope, this
That's
section
what
right
my
here,
discrepancy is, because if it's 100% paved, the end of the property line, the pavement ends at the end of 15 and 16 across.
no, it doesn't.
And the dirt part of it starts to upgrade further. That's why
No, the lot lines are here, the pavement starts where the road ends on the public right of way.
I'm looking back on the main map for the elevations. I think you need to look at it closer. the elevations, the BFEs are determined, you know, I think that this map is a bit off.
Yeah,
But in either
Well,
case.
Thank you, Mr. for your points. It's been added into the record. They'll be reflected in the meeting minutes.
All right. I'll take it as that. We'll deal with it in the Conservation Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Gerlach.
You wanted the,
Thank you.
permit restriction on the completion of the road on all that.
I think that's a good idea.
Right. On my motion, I'd like to add the amendment of no occupancy permit shall issue until roadway.
We have a second on that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Opposed, Mr. Chairman, opposed, please.
Leaving the vote.
Oh, she's opposed. Okay, any, comments on the correspondence from Christopher York or Newbury Street or regional notices? Any other matters properly before the board?
Matter, if I may, one matter is, Mr. Medina, are you here for that zone change?
I just want to know what the decision of the board.
The board voted in favor of recommending approval on it based upon a letter submitted by Attorney Kelty that amended the request. It pretty much took out all the dimensional requirements and instead stated that any lot over 20,000 square feet would be required. I got it pulled in front of me.
Oh, ZBA.
Go in front of the ZBA for a variance for if they want to do housing on it. But correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Kelty, everything else would be covered as well under special permit.
Correct.
So you approved the multifamily,
In the GB zone.
We didn't approve anything. We recommended approval.
you recommended
Yeah, for the city council.
to the council.
To the council.
Pardon?
To the council.
Yeah.
To the council, go to the council the 27th.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it was unanimous?
There was
One.
no, it was
One present and one no.
Who was present and who was the no?
Attorney Peter Venaitis was present and the no was Mr. Tom French. Tom French,
On?
French,
Down the end there, that guy.
right there.
I was the no.
You were the no?
Yes.
And who was the president?
And the other Venaitis.
I just want to know. I just like to, for my own. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, people.
Thank you.
You do a good job.
We try.
We are not one.
Yeah, if the board may, I have a variance that I got and I did not get until Monday night. It allowed a small section of land to be cut off and added to a neighboring piece of land. That variance will be, the appeal period will have run on July 9th. You folks don't meet until the 18th. I've got my folks selling their lot and moving their land, their house, and moving to South Carolina on about the 12th. And I wondered whether it would be possible to have the plan submitted this evening, perhaps signed and held in advance until the appeal period runs on the 9th. I have a municipal lien, I have everything that would ordinarily be required. I just don't have the variance with the appeal period having run. And I have no need for that plan until such time, and I have it this evening with the MLC and everything. It would be an accommodation to the soon-to-be former Peabody residents.
So you've already gone to the zoning board of appeals.
Yeah, just Monday though.
And you already got
I got the variance
there
that allows it to happen,
to do what? To move a lot line?
to cut a triangle off. Sell it to our neighbor, give it to our neighbor who has been encroaching. So these are the encroachers, these are the people that own the land. They want to take that 1926, give it to them. I got this approved Monday night. The appeal period that will run July 9th. And there's a copy of that approval, but you folks don't meet until the 18th in order to be able to sign. Yeah.
The contract purchase and PS agreement describes the what prior to.
No, no, I've described it that way. And they've gone up and walked all through the land. The folks that live here, there's a,
No, they're gonna appeal period.
but I won't be able to put the plan on, given the deed that they.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to accept Attorney Skelby's plan he's presenting here tonight. Endorse the plan and then hold the plan in the planning board office until the appeals period on the variance is exhausted.
Mr. Chairman, quick question. This isn't land court, it's just regular, Jack?
Yep.
I will say I'm a little hesitant on this, as this has not been posted on an agenda anywhere. This is, I guess the plan is there to see.
It's before the public. No, it's not a behind the scenes thing. It's just a convenience to the
Well, but
the homeowner.
but it was in the public at the CBA.
Yes, true.
And all the abutters got notified. And they took in their comments and then they made a decision. And I tend to agree with you. So, but let me ask you this, just a quick question. Isn't Glenway, isn't that up off of Lynn Street somewhere in the
Yeah.
back? Where there's all kinds of water problems?
I think
And
there
somebody was trying to put in a house in another, no, was that not Glenway? CBA?
wasn't my client.
There's a lady that had a prior approval to get a house, but now wants to put it in and all the neighbors are complaining about flooding, that's not, there's not a
Jimmy
wetland, a
Cliff.
big wetland nearby?
No,
Oh, okay, never mind,
no,
never mind.
no.
Motion on the floor.
One other comment, I'm in favor of doing helping the talk, but I'm just a little concerned that it might set a precedent that, okay, here comes all these other people, all these other attorneys come before us, say, well, the appeal period's going on, but you did it for this guy, maybe we should just, let's do this, and then all of a sudden, there's an appeal. So then what happens? I mean, we look like, I understand it stops, but we look like, we look,
No. There's a hardship kind of being created because we're only meeting once in July.
I just said, I'm in favor of this. But someone has to say this. I mean, it's just gonna set a precedent that forget the 20-day period now, the Board of Appeals last night and this morning.
Plan will be held until the appeals period.
I understand that. I'm in favor of that, John. I'm just saying.
We have a motion.
I mean, the planning board can accept the plan to review it. I mean, I'm just really hesitant on them taking any action on this. I
There'll be
mean,
no action other than us endorsing the plan. tonight. The
Exactly.
plan
but you're
will stay
endorsing this
in the
plan
office.
without, it's never been posted on the agenda. It just came before the board this evening. I mean,
It's not even a conditional endorsement, it's an absolute endorsement.
yeah.
To be held.
To be held, I'm not sure that's.
Yeah, but the to be held makes no difference, because even if it's appealed and he wins that appeal, we've still created a new lot.
We
Well,
didn't create it.
We're about to create a lot endorsing his plan.
No, we're moving a lot line, we're not creating a lot, we're moving a line from point A to point B,
Which is creating a new lot,
it's not.
parcel,
Oh, okay,
How about
it's
that?
changing the dimension of the parcel.
parcel.
which is a new lot now. I'm very hesitant on the board taking action on this with it being presented. I think Mr. Gagnon makes a great point. It does set a weird precedent that, we get backed into a corner and we approve this. I understand that there's a hardship on this, but our meeting dates have been posted since January, this 1st on when we meet. and our deadlines. I feel, for the applicant, don't get me wrong, but I just think that, it's this one, what's about the next one? And then, it's,
Would it be possible to, if the chair was willing to um, sign it after the date, outside of a meeting?
I just feel very weird about, and I feel very uncomfortable having something on this agenda that was not on the agenda. I think other matters probably before the board is for items that are not as significant as we are endorsing a plan now that was not put on the agenda.
Can we move the plan be endorsed after the expiration of the bill period? Not endorse it tonight?
Well, we don't have a meeting until the 18th.
No, but we have to have a meeting to endorse the plan.
No, well, depends on your rules and regs. There's a lot of communities that endorse plans outside of meetings.
I think.
I don't think our
I
rules
think it
hit
has to
that,
be
but-
advertised unless it's an emergency then. Which is certainly.
But
not-
there's no advertisement for the,
There's no advertisement, it's just that
it's posted at a public.
it just has to be posted that it was at a public meeting.
I
think it's a bad precedent to stray from the normal procedure and rules, just personal. I agree, it's a hardship and that's unfortunate.
I just wish I didn't have my first vote.
You could push back the closing date if that's time
Oh,
of
we'll have-
closing. I mean, it is unfortunate.
Well, that's the night. They were gonna close the bar.
I just explain to me again, so the applicants are selling their lot and as part of this sale, they're selling a piece of their lot.
They're selling their lot and they're selling the encroached upon their house and lot, and they're selling the encroached upon area to the neighbor. Much smaller sum. The neighbor, the difference in grade from Glenway up to the rear of the property line is about 45, 46 feet, straight uphill. They've been, our neighbors have been building on this portion of the lot. Not very much at all in the front, but up in the back, they've got a fire pit, they've got tables and chairs. And if you're in my client's house, you don't even see it. And they did notice it a while ago. Back at the first of the year, I gave notice that their occupation was not adverse. We began to discuss getting off the property, and then from then until now, my clients have decided they went to the Carolinas. They've got other family members down there, and they want to move. So we do have the house under agreement. We have an agreement with the neighbors. Everybody is aware of it, and it's just the way the dates are falling that is creating the difficulty.
And the variance is legally enforced.
Well, the variance has been voted.
Until it
I
runs.
have a copy of it attached to the app, but the appeal period on that runs July 9th. And they were hoping to close July 10th. July 12th, which is a Friday.
Who's the abutter they're giving it to? Is it 11, number 11, something, Mother Street?
Yeah, number 11.
What's that street?
That's
That
Glen,
Glen-
right?
Oh, it is.
The number. So
I don't know why the numbers do that, but it was
Well,
a
there's a-
section of
Yeah,
Glenway
but
that was
that
built
street's
well.
not, that street's not continuous. There's
Yeah,
a
I
break
think
in that
it's in
street.
there,
You can't go from one end to the other.
What's the motion? Who's motion?
Mason,
Nathan.
I'll second it.
second, all those in favor?
You better do
Roll call.
You better do a roll call.
Better do a roll call.
So just. This is just a motion to accept this
A
plan.
motion to accept it, endorse it, and hold it in the planning board office until the appeals period is expired.
I recommend that the planning board does not make this motion and that the planning board does not vote on
The
this.
motion's on the floor.
Want to put that out there that. I
On
did,
the
so he,
floor and seconded, the roll call.
Mr. Joseph Gagnon,
No,
Mr. John Ford,
Yes.
Attorney Peter Arvanites,
No.
Dr. Judith Otto,
Yes,
Laura Simos.
Yeah.
Mr. Sean Walsh.
No.
Mr. Tom French,
No.
Mr. Thomas Bettencourt.
Yes.
It's a tie, 4-4.
But it's,
Now I don't know what
Does not count.
Oh, yeah. That goes to the runner.
no, but it's the, because we have a quorum, 2, 3, 4, 5, with or 6 with members of the board. So then the alternates would technically not need to vote on this. So it would go to 6 members of the planning board to vote.
They're both
Seven,
all-
I'm the only one.
Or is you the alternate? Sorry, so 7. So Mr. French's vote would cancel out because we have 7.
I don't think that's right, Drew. I think the alternates sit in for whatever members aren't present, so that if they're 8th, they're still here and eligible to vote.
Here.
Okay.
So Dennis's vote.
I think,
I
think his vote is a good vote.
Right,
Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I just don't know what you do for the tie.
Do we need to double check that?
Tie, no action?
I think it is.
Doesn't pass.
So. The way to put it, it doesn't, that hard. Right.
Yep. Sounds good.
Enough money.
Thank you.
Any other matters properly before the board? Do we have a report on the rules and regulations? Judy, you had any meetings on that?
I'm sorry to report, Mr. Chairman, we still have to arrange ourselves. And I, maybe not now, would like to hear a little bit about what you are envisioning for these changes.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, maybe myself, Dr. Otto, we can schedule a call, or maybe before one of our next meetings, we can just meet beforehand and chat and go over the rules and regs and just chat a little bit more about what you're looking for with this.
Thank you. Any other matters before the board?
Just as a reminder to everyone, we're meeting once in July. Guess this is not as big of a deal as because we just talked about this, but we're meeting July 18th.
Is that the 4th Thursday? Or is it just a special meeting that happens in July?
No, it's
One.
the 3rd Thursday. We always just meet once in July. We always meet the
Right, but
second.
it's the 3rd Thursday, not the 2nd or the 4th.
No, yeah,
Oh,
it's
we're
just-
first and third.
Yeah, first and third, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Understood.
At this
City
time, I'll
council.
accept the motion.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Good night, everybody.